This is the HOVERAir X1 Drone. It can fold up to roughly the size of my passport, but it's capable of getting shots like this. And all I had to do was push a single button. I'll come back to that in a little bit because I want to give you guys some context to this drone. Around 5 years ago, when STU'S Reviews was pretty new, I first featured the very early version of this, the Hover Passport, and even back then, I said it was ahead of its time. It was the first drone in not just a small form factor, but one that was a folding form factor and was capable of features that you only really saw on advanced drones. Things like AI object tracking, auto flight paths, and all sorts of other cool features. Well, the HOVERair X1 takes those features, supercharges them, and adds some extra ones. And it makes it so simple to use that even a 2-year-old could fly it. It's one of those pieces of tech that makes me just go, look at that. I mean, just take a look at the first time I used it. Now this is straight out the box, and I'm turning it on for the very first time I'm using it.
Place it 1 foot below the device and wait for the device to land on your palm. Continue. Snapshot.
Oh, hello, look at that. Hey. Apparently it's filming me right now. Okay, that's fine. Try to pose. Hey, it's just flashed to say it's taking a picture. And then I've got to put my hand underneath it like this. Hey, that's cool. And then if I shut this, put it in my back pocket. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Now, out of the box, you can turn it on, pair it up to the app, and once it's done, it's done. In theory, you could delete the app and never use it again. I'll tell you later why you won't want to do this, but the drone on its own has a very, very simple big button on the top, along with a selector button to cycle between a bunch of shooting modes. And every single one of these modes is quite frankly insane.
It is absolutely baking today, but there's a very, very good reason why I'm here on the mountain tops with the lovely Welsh mountains behind me on an electric bike, and I'll show you why in just a second. It's on follow mode at the moment, but we'll come back to that very shortly. I'm going to turn it on to a different mode here.
Bird eye. Custom. Zoom out.
Let's do zoom out, shall we? So if I set it off here like this, in theory it should.
10 feet. Zoom out.
There we are, off it goes. Look at that. It's coming back. Come on, it's so cool! It's on orbit mode now. This is kind of what I really want to try and see exactly how well this works. So
5 feet.
5 feet. So now it should do a full loop of me. There we go, off it goes. It's gone above the camera. I bet I look so cool. That is so good. This is unreal. Sort of a bit lost for words of how cool this is.
Bird eye.
Let's try bird's eye. Off it goes. Do you know, that's actually going much higher than I thought it would. Hey, bloody hell. Oh no, it's coming back down. I think we'll catch it now, hold on. This is just joyful, honest to God. This, I can't explain it, but this brings a certain amount of joy that just is, you just don't get with other devices. I can't believe this thing exists. I mean, the first generation was incredible. This just works so much better. You know, and then when you're done, clip it away, pop it in your pocket, or in the nice little carry case that comes with it, of course, beforehand, and off you go. This is so good.
Now, these flight modes are fully automated, as you can see from those tests. However, when pairing it with the app, and this is while you want the app, you can customize a ton of different things about these modes. For starters, many of the options come with the ability to change the distance the drone flies away to. So, for example, with the bird's eye view, whilst my demonstration just took it to a height of 16 foot, you can actually set it to 50 foot, which is quite high for a drone this size, and comparatively to its earlier 16-foot test, you can see a big difference in what it can take. Now, remarkably, it does pretty well at stabilization, even at that height where it's exposed to more atmospheric wind. And almost every mode has some form of customization. And when you change it, what's particularly good is that the drone will remember the settings for each mode based off your last setting automatically. So you don't have to keep pulling out the app every time you turn it on to change some settings, which I think is a super nice touch. Now, it does all of this tracking purely through the Vision AI. It uses no GPS or satellite navigation, which makes it even more impressive. And it handles every single mode perfectly, but perhaps the most impressive, I think, has been the Follow Me mode. This basically gives you a cameraman in your back pocket. Press a button, send it up, and it will follow you around. Now, it does such an impressive job with tracking that I thought I would test just how good this tracking is.
And that is exactly why I'm on one of these. Now, supposedly it can go about 15 miles per hour. So I'm going to chuck it up in the air and cycle that way for a bit. See how far it can follow me for before I lose it. Right. It just so happens that this bike that I'm on now on Assist 1 goes 15 miles per hour. Now I'm in the middle of some fields. This also flies at 15 miles per hour. So if I turn this on, this in theory should be able to keep up. Okay. Okay, I've lost maybe 30 seconds of flying time there. Oh, it's following me. I think it's still following me. I'm doing 10 miles per hour now. Still seems to be still following me. I'm going to hit it now and do 15, 12, 13. It does seem like it's still behind me. 13, 14, 15. It does seem like it's getting a little bit further away, possibly. Slowed down to 11 now. It does sound like it's catching back up. What a beautiful day. What a, oh my, beautiful. I've never been up here. It's still following. This is unreal. Hold on, I don't know what happens if it runs out of battery. Hold on, I'll get my phone out and see what it says. See if I can connect to my phone. It says it's still got 57% battery left. What? And so far I've gone half a mile. What? I thought it was going to run out by now. This is insane. Oh, right, let's see what happens if I turn around. I'm going to turn around now. Oh my lord.
Genuinely, I can't believe how impressive this drone is for the size. And I can't believe that it flew nearly 2/3 of a mile, tracking me quite comfortably at nearly 15 miles per hour, consistently at around 5 minutes of flight time, all at the press of a single button. No app, no need to do anything. It's witchcraft. That's what this is. And talking about magic, there's another thing it can do, which is possibly even more magical.
Now, the final thing that this can do is actually quite remarkable. At this moment in time, I'm recording on the drone and it's sort of following me as I walk towards it, very much like a cameraman would. But where's the audio coming from? And why can't you hear the drone? Well, that's because I'm recording from my phone right now. And it syncs it up to the footage and removes the drone noise. This is utter witchcraft, and it really has blown me away of how good this actually performs. And I don't think the sound is actually too bad either. Come on, they've done an incredible job of this. And it really does mean that I've got my own personal cameraman in my pocket. It's amazing.
Now let's talk about the camera quality, because this one really surprised me. Now when viewing on the phone, it looks stunning. The colours are vibrant, and if I was to make any kind of comparison, I'd say it wasn't far off the quality of the iPhone 14 Pro's wide-angle camera lens. However, it perhaps loses a bit of sharpness when you stretch it out onto a big 4K TV, simply because its maximum shooting resolution is only 2.7K, but in an age where people consume content mostly on their phones, 2.7K resolution is more than enough. This is at a frame rate of 30 FPS, which is what I tend to shoot at anyway, but if you're happy with dropping down to 1080p, then you can actually increase this to 60 FPS. And all of this is HDR, by the way, so it handles both lights and darks really, really well. But the HOVERAir X1 is not just for videos, obviously, as I showed earlier. You can actually change the shooting mode, and it has individual settings for each individual flight program. So, for example, you can change just the zoom out function to have just photos. And I think the photo quality is actually really good as well. It's 12 megapixel photos, and I think they're great quality. And you know what? For photos, it's possibly the handiest piece of tech that I've got. Not only is it better than running backwards and forwards to a phone propped up precariously against a pile of pebbles on a wall, it actually has the added benefit of grabbing the attention of children and dogs. So everyone will be looking at the camera when it snaps a photo. An unintended feature, but useful all the same. Now, I'm going to come out and say that I irrefutably love this device so much, and I've got almost no criticism of it. It's very nearly a 100% score from me. It only loses maybe a couple of percent with the battery design. It is a little bit fiddly to remove it from the drone. I think it would have been better if it was maybe like a quick release button or something, in my opinion, but that's it. I really have struggled to find something I don't like. It's very nearly a perfect product. What makes it even better, though, is the price. The price of this is just £389, which is unbelievable value. And when I checked, it was actually on sale for even less than this. And I couldn't quite believe how much it was at. So make sure you click the link in the description to check how much this is currently sitting at. But either way, even without discount, for your own personal cameraman in your back pocket, I think this price is unreal. Now, I recognise that it does have some limitations, such as no ability to take long distance flights away from you, and it's capped at 2.7K. It would have been great to have been able to shoot at 4K, and it would have been really, really great to have been able to shoot at 120 FPS for slow motion action shots. But these are just wish list things, all of which we may see in future iterations. The only other suggestion I have is that it would have been excellent if they'd made a mode where I could shoot video with it closed like this and without having to take off. They could have essentially made it a handheld stabilised camera if they did. This could be implemented with a software update, of course, and I think that adding this would make it a real contender, not just for a personal drone market, but even help go up against things like the DJI Osmo or even other point-and-shoot cameras. Sure, it wouldn't have sound, but it might be a cool feature. Perhaps in future iterations, adding the ability to do this, but also adding a small mic, it would make it a brilliant handheld camera too. It really, really is a cameraman in your back pocket, and it performs so well across a range of its features. There's just nothing that comes close to this type of product or any kind of feature from any other manufacturer. Sure, there may be higher quality drones out there and there may be smaller drones, but there's none with this level of quality and this range of features in this form factor. And because of that, I think just like the original Hover Passport drone was one of my favorite pieces of drone technology from the 2010s, the HOVERair X1 is one of my favorites from the 2020s so far. In fact, it's not just one of my favorite pieces of drone tech. I'd go as far as saying that this is one of my favorite pieces of tech, full stop. If you've got any questions about the HOVERair X1 or just want to chat to me about it, I'll be online for the next hour or so answering all of your comments below. So make sure you go and drop me a message below and say hi. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And every time one of you guys clicks that red button, it puts me a little bit closer to that silver play button. And I can't thank you enough for helping me towards that goal. Anyway, I'll see you guys back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.